Welcome to Meltdown! Let's play a game to learn about risk management. In Meltdown, you play the role of the CEO of a financial institution. To be successful, you need to hire the right people, select the right investments, manage the operations effectively, and accurately report the financial position. Now let's begin! 3 or 4 players can play at once. These people are here to help you manage risks. If you have a vacancy, you may hire another player's risk officer. Use it wisely. You need to pay their salary. You cannot fire your risk officers. You start with 100 million capital. This is the maximum capital you can have. You will gain or lose capital over the game. This is how you track your capital. For example, if you lose 20 million, slide downwards to 80 million. If you gain 10 million, slide upwards to 90 million. Now how do you win? Be the first to accumulate 3 dividend points or be the last to resign. You earn 1 dividend point if you have 100 million capital at the end of your turn. Beware, if your capital is depleted, you must resign. These are your investment choices. Different investments give different risks and returns. You could also make operational losses. This is how you start the game. Randomly distribute 2 people cards to each player. If you have a vacancy, you may hire from another player. You can only have 1 chief risk officer. You need to pay their salary. Player 1 has a chief risk officer and hires an operational risk officer. He pays a total salary of 30 million. You need to choose 3 different investments. Choose your investments based on your risk and reward preferences. This is shown on the card. Your risk officers can help you reduce losses from investments, but 1 risk officer can only deal with 1 loss at a time. Player 1 decides to invest in junk bonds, penny stocks and prime bonds. The investment in junk bonds leads to a gain of 40 million, penny stocks lead to a loss of 20 million and prime bonds lead to another loss of 20 million. The chief risk officer helps player 1 reduce the loss of 20 million from the prime bonds. Overall, player 1 makes 20 million from investments in this round. Player 1 has an operational risk officer who helps to avoid operational losses. So, player 1 skips this phase. Tell every player how much capital you are left with. If you have 100 million capital, you earn 1 dividend point card. If you are caught reporting incorrectly, you get a penalty of 20 million. You must resign if you repeat the offense or have no more capital. Remember, observe other players and don't get caught cheating. Player 1 announces that he has 90 million capital. Now, it's player 2's turn. Player 2 has a credit risk officer and a vacancy. He decides against hiring an extra risk officer. He pays a total salary of 10 million. Player 2 invests in penny stocks, junk bonds and prime bonds. The penny stocks give a gain of 40 million, junk bonds give another gain of 40 million and prime bonds give a loss of 20 million. The credit risk officer helps player 2 to reduce the 20 million loss from prime bonds. Player 2 on overall makes 80 million from investments. This brings his capital up to 100 million, which is the maximum. Player 2 does not make any operational losses. Well done! Player 2 then announces that he has 100 million capital and earns 1 dividend point.
Yay!
The game continues with player 3 and player 4. The game continues until all the other players have resigned or 1 player has earned 3 dividend points.
Yay!
Now, let's play the game! Do you have what it takes to win?